بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسوله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Chapter 95 باب استحباب التبشير والتهنئة بالخير, the recommendation of spreading good news, cheering people up, picking people up, lifting people up, and passing on goodness and positivity. We explained the first half of the chapter, which were the many ayat that the Messenger of Allah received from Allah. We explained all of that. And then the second half of the chapter, the author said, وَأَمَّا الْأَحَادِيثُ فَكَثِيرَةٌ جِدًّا وَهِيَ مَشْهُورَةٌ فِي الصَّحِيحِ مِنْهَا. He says, as far as the hadiths regarding this, the recommendation of doing that, spreading good news, passing on good news, spreading positivity, cheering people up, etc. And there are many ahadith regarding this. Many, countless times which the Prophet ﷺ did this, commanded the people to do this, ordered the people to do this, allowed the people to do this, congratulated the people who were doing this, and passed on good news to his Sahaba, the Khulafa al-Rashideen, so on and so forth, his wives, etc. There are many hadiths that are collected in Bukhari and Muslim, and etc. From those hadiths, وعن أبي إبراهيم ويقال أبو محمد ويقال أبو معاوية عبد الله بن أبي أوفى رضي الله عنهما أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بشر خديجة رضي الله عنها ببيت في الجنة من قصب لا صخب فيه ولا نصب متفق عليه. والقصب هنا اللؤلؤ المجوف والصخب الصياح واللغط والنصب التعب. The first hadith is reported by Abdullah ibn Abi Awfa radiallahu anhu, in which the Messenger of Allah alayhi salam, he gave glad tidings to Khadija. And one version of hadith says that the Prophet was asked, what were the glad tidings, or what was Khadija, did the Prophet ﷺ leave any glad tidings or say anything about what she would receive? And the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he said that Khadija will receive bi baytin fil jannati, a palace in paradise, min qasabin, from nacre. And obviously nacre is what is known as mother of pearl, the inside of the oyster that many men and women use for jewelry. You ever seen a watch have mother of pearl face or dial, earrings, necklace? Many people, they use it for things on the wall or chest, especially back in the day. It's very beautiful, sensitive, yet sturdy material used for jewelry, and it's very colorful. And it goes perfect with silk or marble, etc. Inside of the oyster, the pearls, right? So he gave her glad tidings of a palace in paradise from this material, min qasabin, right? And in this home, in this palace, she will receive the following benefits. La sakhaba fihi wa la nasaba. There won't be any yelling or screaming or hollering. There's no clamor. La maza, none of that. I.e., total peace and serenity, absolute. Wala nasaba. And Khadija radiallahu anha will never ever become tired. And no one will become exhausted. No one will grow old in this home. And this hadith is collected by Imam Bukhari and collected by Imam Muslim. An amazing hadith that is a snippet of Jannah. And it gives you the two halves of Jannah. And these are just the words that we understand in Arabic and English. Baytin, palace. And in reality, there's nothing of comparison between this world and the next except for the words. So a palace here isn't the palace there. Rather, in this world, you have a house, your home, your residence. I'm a trillionaire. Not a billionaire, not a millionaire, a trillionaire. And that's the money that's on record. You understand? That's when I say person's net worth. That's the money that's what? on the record. It's not the money that's off of the record, that isn't counted for. It's not the money in Switzerland or this place or that place. That's just the money that the people know about. So I have trillions that are saved. My houses, my palaces, my homes, my mansion, my cities, etc. My home is of no comparison to what? To your home. Even though the word is what? Same. So if that's the dunya, then imagine paradise. Alright. My muscles, my strength is nothing compared to what? Your muscles, your strength. And the list goes on and on and on. So Abdullah ibn Abbas is quoted to have said, he mentioned, إنه ليس في الدنيا مما في الآخرة إلا الأسماء أو كما قال. He says that there's nothing that exists in paradise and the hereafter that exists in this world except for names and titles. Think about that. That's the only thing that's the same. The only thing that's the same for the next life with regards to this life is language in the discussion. So honey, milk, wine, these things, all you can think about is the name. What's the honey going to look like, taste like, smell like? How's it going to make you feel? How sweet is it going to be? You cannot even begin to fathom. And the same applies to the sadness, the depression, the misery, the pain, the suffering that the people of the hellfire will experience. There's nothing that you can think about. So the Prophet ﷺ, he tells us in his hadith that there is nothing, he says bait, that's it. Alright, now what's the description of this bait? Listen carefully to the balagha of this hadith, the eloquence of this hadith. So he tells us about the two aspects of paradise. There's the physical aspect, the physical luxury, which is incomparable to this luxury. But deeper than that is the living of paradise. So in this world there's wine, and in hereafter there's wine. We've just explained that there's no comparison between two types of wine. But for argument's sake, you have wine, you have aged wine, very expensive, tasty wine in this world. But the more wine you drink, the drunker you get. The drunker you get, the more loose you become, and the more vulnerable you become. People take advantage of you when you're drunk. A good fighter isn't a good fighter when he's what? When he's drunk. A beautiful woman can easily be taken advantage of. A young woman is extremely vulnerable. They offer her alcohol, and it's easy to get what he wants from her. The more you drink, the worse your kidney, your liver, your stomach, your internal health will deplete. And how many different kings and sovereign people of the past that were so rich and wealthy, they would drink, they would have feasts after their victories, and they died early from alcoholism. And that was the destruction of their kingdom, because they were drunks. They couldn't put down alcohol. So the more you drink, the more vulnerable you become. You can be used, you can be manipulated, you can be harmed, and your body will become destroyed. The more you drink, the more you have to use the bathroom. You destroy and ruin your life. The more you drink, the more money you spend, etc., etc., etc. And you age. But in the hereafter, the people who drink wine, they will enjoy wine. They won't have to use the bathroom. It won't destroy them. It won't cause intoxication. It won't cause them to speak foolishly, etc., etc., etc. A person can have a palace in this world, but no matter how he tries to run that palace, there is a time in which the people are going to have to raise their voices. And that's obviously going to disturb the owner of that palace, Buckingham Palace, in the kitchen. You don't think the chefs have to holler and scream, hurry up, we have guests, it's going to burn? They're rushing, this clamor. Outside, the security, there's what? There's clamor. Within the palace, guests, children, people. A person becomes old and they get dementia. They scream to this, there's what? There's clamor. There's loudness. So no matter what palace a person has in this world, there's never ever a time in which it's going to be absolutely quiet. Everyone understand this? There's going to be some noise. There's going to be some disturbance of your sleep. There's going to be some disturbance of your peace, of your meal, one time or another. So in Jannah, there is the mother of pearl, the beautiful, luxurious things, and most importantly is the inner peace. The inner peace. Quiet, calm, no aging. So the highlighting point from this hadith is that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam bashara Khadija. He gave Khadija glad tidings, right? And let alone those other very, very, very interesting and thought-provoking points with regards to the nature of paradise and how it's not how we think it is now. And subhanAllah, you look at the non-Muslims and the Christians, and you look at the different things that are very similar or some things that are exact with Islam. When non-Muslims talk about heaven, what do they say? How do they describe the gates or the doors? They call it the what? Pearly gates. Isn't that interesting? And the Prophet ﷺ clearly mentions what? Pearls. Wallahu ta'ala alam. وعن أبي موسى الأشعري رضي الله عنه أنه توضأ في بيته ثم خرج فقال لألزمن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ولو كنن معه يوم هذا فجاء المسجد فسأل عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقالوا ها هنا قال فخرجت على أثره أسأل عنه حتى دخل بئر أريس فجلست عند الباب حتى قضى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حاجته وتوضأ فقمت إليه فإذا هو قد جلس على بئر أريس وتوسط قفها وكشف عن ساقيه وولاهما في البئر إلى آخر الحديث. We suffice ourselves with that hadith until the next chapter. والله سبحانه وتعالى أعلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده رسوله نبينا وإمامنا محمد.